Hello and welcome. I'm Wolfgang Riebe and these are my quick tips. Today I thought I'd tackle family relationships, especially those that we have with our children. Do you know that as a keynote speaker for many years, I would actually preach to others on how they need to focus on work-life balance and make time for the kids. I told this to others, yet I was on a plane 4 times a week, traveled around the globe, and I would justify my behavior by thinking that when I was at home, I was there 24/7 for my daughters. Strange. They didn't experience me 24/7 at the time. You see, they had friends, school, sports, and their mom. I had grown apart, and I was too naive to see this. I was that typical father who thought that the latest techno gadget would make up for being away from home and not tucking them in to bed at night. Well, luckily it took a few wake-up calls to make me see the light and to realize that this was no way to raise a family. Things changed and I spent more time with my girls. Yet there was still something lacking. In a sense, I still didn't feel that we were connecting properly. It took a while for me to understand that bringing up a family and connecting with your children is not a one-dimensional strategy. It is a multi-dimensional approach that encompasses so many little things. And hence, in this quick tip, I want to share a number of those tips with you that can help you reconnect in an easy, casual way. Firstly, how often have your children and your spouse asked you something and you merely give an automated response without looking up? You know, while you're working, you just respond. At the time, you may think you addressed the issue at hand. You see, but they feel shunned. Yes, I understand. You may be on the phone, you may be reading an important email or responding to a tweet on your phone, which requires immediate attention. However, this is not the correct response. Nothing requires more attention than your family. If you think back, how often have questions been asked where you actually participated 100% in the discourse? Look, I'm not pointing fingers. If anything, I am the classic example of this. I mean, hello, not every question or issue requires me to think. Some responses are just like so automatic, boom, it just happens. Well, you see, that's completely wrong. From now on, stop what you're doing. When your family asks you, especially when your children ask you something, and they walk into the room, they want to show you something you made, look them in the eye. Show an interest. Give them 100% attention to that matter at hand. Let them express their feelings and emotions without you responding, correcting them, or judging them. Just listen, that's all they want. Some people even maintain one should only give advice when your child asks for it. Think about that. Bottom line, the focus must be on listening. It's when we interrupt, correct, or counter what they are saying that we do not give our children and our partners the opportunity to express themselves freely and openly. And suddenly, they stop communicating with us. And we wonder, where did it all go wrong? You see, the sad part is your child will never develop this withdrawn behavior when it happens once or twice. But literally, it will do so from hundreds of times of facing the same behavior over and over again when trying to communicate with you. It's actually frightening, and it brings a lump to my throat when I think of the number of people out there that complain about lack of communication with their loved ones. Yet they have not once, but hundreds of times shunned those close to them with this kind of behavior. You need a change now. Remember, not all is lost. We humans all have a desire to be loved, and we all have the capability of forgiving. So from now on, from this very moment on, change your behavior and make a conscious effort to look up when your children and your loved ones communicate with you. Here's the cool part. Only you will be consciously changing your behavior. Think about that. Only you. They may not even notice at first that you are suddenly paying attention every single time they approach you. But in fact, by merely giving that attention, they will inadvertently start approaching you more regularly and out of their own, simply because you're starting to show an interest. Clever, huh? Important is that you need to be there. If you have had a communication problem in the past, correct it now by paying attention when they do approach you. But also be there and approachable. Don't be closed off. That won't work. Even if they are up in their room and you are in the kitchen, just knowing that you are in the house is already comforting and important to children. Man, it's difficult. I remember my parents lecturing me when I was a teenager and thinking that they came from another planet. Today, I understand that they only wanted the best for me. Today, with the advancement of technology and the increase in knowledge that we all have due to this instant access to information, don't you think we should know better? You can literally Google anything and find solutions to most problems within seconds. You know, even though I don't watch television, and I have a strong dislike to talk shows, if anything, people have learned to open up and share intimate and personal issues because of these. In a way, this has taught and helped many people on the globe, including myself, as they can relate to these experiences. So I'm sure that Dr. Phil has helped many thousands of people without even realizing the lives that he's touched. And these are most probably people on the other side of the TV set, sitting on their own and not having anyone to talk to. Why? Because it all started with me. It all starts with you and me taking responsibility and pulling back from the whacked out, ridiculous, stressful, unrealistic, materialistic world that we live in. It starts with us taking that step back and allowing our children and partners to enter into our space and connecting with them. You know, it's so easy blaming the society we live in, our parents, our school, and all the other people we want to blame for the lack of communication within our family circle. If anything, we live in a society that promotes this, and we wonder why we are unhappy. Do you know that everything in your life starts with you? You have to take full responsibility. Yes, you may have an annoying teenager in the house that is driving you absolutely mad. But think about it. Have you given that teenage child time when they asked for it? Did you listen non-judgmentally? Or did you criticize and correct them? Tough to be honest with yourself, huh? Think about it this way. Imagine any issue or problem in your life where you wanted to seek help for it from someone that you looked up to and respected. Now imagine that person not even looking up when you talk to them. Imagine this person immediately judging you and calling you a moron. Would you go back to them for advice? I used to play my music in the car when taking my daughters to school. Thinking back, at least they now have an appreciation for the 80s music. But there was a time I had to let them load their music on the hard drive in the car. I had to let go. Today we drive to school and I see the songs they play. Sometimes I almost drive into the lamppost when I see the skimpy outfits or the artists they have on when they're watching it on their iPads. But most of the music doesn't appeal to me. However, at least my daughters are secure enough and comfortable enough to share what they like with me. At first I criticized and shunned the music. Then my youngest said to me, stop looking at how they are dressed and listen to the lyrics. I listened. Yes, there's some dumb songs out there, but there are a lot of good ones. And suddenly I realized that most of the music by the decent artists is actually very deep and tackles the issues of today. The youth is communicating to us through their music. If only we just listened, We would understand them better, and we'd learn to communicate more effectively with them. Make sense, huh? Finally, plan and make time regularly, even if it is a family meeting around the kitchen table, or a weekly visit to a restaurant, or even a weekly family walk on the beach or in the park. There needs to be a time where you as parents do something with your children where they feel comfortable. Maybe you've lost that connection, and maybe you've tried this. Don't expect your child to start speaking to you after the first outing if you've never done this before. It may take some time, and it could only possibly happen after 3 months. But just give it the time and opportunity and chance to happen. As a parent that has made a conscious effort to spend time with my children, it has still gone fast. I cannot believe that I have 2 teenage daughters running around my home, both taller than my wife. What happened to the cuddly little girls that looked up to Dad and believed everything I said? That I could just cuddle and tickle the whole time? What happened to that little girl that would fall asleep on my chest and hold me so tight? That same little girl who came running into my office completely out of breath to tell me with such major excitement that she'd just thrown the ball for our dog and that he had brought it back to her for the first time. Well, those little girls today are women who now like boys. They want to go out over weekends. Mom and Dad are no longer those heroes from back then. Or are we? Maybe they don't come running into our room all excited. But if we maintain our communication with them, give them that feeling of security and knowledge that they can talk to us at any time about anything, then maybe, just maybe, we still are those heroes to them. But just at another level. People laugh at me when they hear that I have teenage daughters. I don't get it. You see, I don't have any problems with them. In fact, it's a new chapter of their lives that I really enjoy. We do so many more things together, and we communicate at such a different level. Yes, of course they have their moments, and the hormones do play havoc at times. This is normal. But you know what the big difference is? That our girls know they have parents that understand, are willing to listen, and are there for them no matter what. So please, start paying attention to your loved ones. It makes such a difference, and it enriches your life and theirs so very much. I trust I haven't preached too much in this quick tip. I'm just so passionate about children because they are our future on this earth. Thank you so much for listening to me, and until next time, from me, Wolfgang Riebe, cheers.